The hospital looms in the darkness, its windows like vacant eyes, the night undisturbed but for the soft hum of fluorescent lights and distant traffic. A voice echoes through the empty halls. People always assume hospitals are loud, but on the night shift it's quiet, too quiet. Elijah Cross walks down a dimly lit hospital corridor. My name is Elijah Cross. He reflects. 2 years ago, I took a temporary job as an overnight sitter at St. Marlowe Medical Center. William Archer lies motionless, his frail body connected to life-sustaining tubes, as Elijah observes him with growing unease. Elijah sits vigil, logging Archer's vitals, a flicker of doubt crossing his face as he reflects. They said he just collapsed one day during a session, but when I looked at him, it felt like he wasn't completely gone. Elijah sits engrossed in a book, but his concentration drifts as a strange chill fills the room. The rhythmic beeping of monitors clashes with a faint click, like a doorknob turning, shattering the silence. Elijah freezes, listening intently. Around the second week, I started feeling like I was not alone in the room, something watching me. In the quiet hours of 4 a.m., Elijah sits vigil in the dim hospital room, the rhythmic beeping of a heart monitor the only sound as William Archer lies still in his bed. Elijah battles sleep, his mind struggling against the tricks of the night, as a growing sense of unease creeps into his awareness. Elijah maintains his solemn watch, the silence shattered by a fragile whisper. Elijah! The whisper hangs in the air, seemingly from Archer, yet his eyes remain shut. Elijah freezes, unsure if the sound was real or a figment of his weary mind. Paranoia grips Elijah as he scans the room, every shadow seeming to hold a secret. Elijah slips into the silent hospital records room, rows of files casting long shadows under the harsh fluorescent lights. He finds William Archer's file marked restricted and quickly opens it. His eyes dart across the pages, seeking the hidden truth within William Archer's case. Rain falls against the window as Elijah freezes, a chilling realization washing over him. Memories flood back the accident, his brother, the job he left behind. I know what you did. He understands Archer could not know these things without supernatural influence. In the dimly lit storage room, Elijah rummages through the dusty files. I found it tucked behind an old filing cabinet. A blueprint of the third floor, from 1984. Elijah traces a finger along the map, his eyes locking onto the ominous label. Room 313, do not assign. The north wing isn't there anymore. At least it's not supposed to be. Elijah moves cautiously through a dark corridor, the only light source a flashlight beam dancing across the aged walls. He pauses before a plain wall panel. There was no sign, no keycard reader, just a painted-over seam in the plaster. Elijah presses on the wall's edge. With a low groan, the panel shifts inward, revealing a mold-covered hallway. I stepped inside, and immediately I knew this place wasn't abandoned. It was sealed. Elijah stands in room 313, surrounded by dusty VHS tapes. He holds one tape labeled Subject MA, Final Session. Madeline Archer, his daughter. I didn't know yet what happened to her, but that tape yet felt alive in my hands, like it was waiting to be played. In the dead of night, Elijah sits vigil, an ominous tape nearby. Suddenly, the room plunges into chaos as the ceiling light flickers wildly. He looks up, startled. An unsettling presence materializes, a lidless eye piercing through the wall above Archer's bed, its gaze fixed and unwavering. A chilling whisper echoes. Did you see her? Elijah frantically tries to call Nurse Camille, his hands shaking violently as he holds the phone. A distorted voice echoes from the phone. Room 313. He took her eyes. Don't look at it. Panic overwhelms him. He throws the phone away. Checking the caller ID, Elijah's terror intensifies as he whispers, the number is his own. Elijah returns to where room 313 once stood, finding only smooth, cold plaster. No seam, no hallway, just white plaster, smooth and cold. He reaches into his pocket, but the tape, etched with the haunting invitation, play me alone. Elijah sits in darkness, the television screen casting an eerie glow across his face. The screen flickers, revealing grainy footage of Madeline in a padded room, her gaze piercing. A voice echoes from the tape. Subject MA, final observation, no restraints. Let's begin. Madeline sits silently, enveloped by the padded walls, a profound stillness hanging in the air. The silence shatters as Madeline begins scratching at her face, her movements growing increasingly frantic and desperate. Her voice, echoing with a chilling duality, breaks the stillness. He's in the walls again, Daddy. Elijah stares blankly as he rewinds the tape, then replays it, his expression unchanging. Madeline stands directly before the camera on the screen, bleeding from her eyes and smiling ominously. The tape ejects violently as smoke pours from the VHS player, plunging the room into darkness. Elijah startles awake in the dead of night, every sense heightened by the stillness. The silence is shattered by a relentless dripping, the subtle creak of footsteps, and the eerie static of a VHS tape. Drawn by a faint light, Elijah moves toward the living room, unaware of the horrors awaiting him. In the sterile hospital corridor, Elijah corners Nurse Camille, her face a mask of fear. "You knew. About room 313. About the girl." Camille's voice trembles, revealing a horrifying truth. It wasn't a psych ward, it was an incubation chamber. Dr. Archer. He wasn't studying her, he was feeding her, Elijah demands, his voice rising in disbelief. "Feeding who?" Camille whispers in terror. "The thing that lives in silence." Archer's fingers twitch as he lies in the hospital bed, murmuring words only he can hear. The heart monitor flatlines, a chilling testament to the life slipping away. A voice echoes in the sterile room. He was awake. Not fully, not humanly. But something inside him had come online. A horrifying confession escapes his lips. "She's not my daughter anymore." Chaos descends as lights explode and alarms blare, filling the hospital ward with an unbearable cacophony. Windows crack under immense pressure, amplifying the chorus of terror echoing down the hall. Whatever we had locked away, it was out. Elijah is running from the hospital ward. A tall, eyeless figure walks beside Elijah, its head tilted unnaturally. Emergency lights strobe, painting the deserted hospital corridor in streaks of red. The halls were empty, but I wasn't alone. I could feel her watching. Elijah walks down the corridor, his footsteps echoing in the silence. Faint whimpering drifts from room 313. In the hushed hospital archives, Elijah discovers Camille concealed among the towering shelves. Clutching a dusty box labeled Private, W. Archer, Camille trembles, guarding secrets of the past. Inside, a tarnished key and a torn note spill forgotten truths into the dim light. Camille's voice trembles as she reveals. "There's a door in the old basement. Never listed, never used. That's where he kept the experiments." Elijah and Camille venture into the depths of Archer's basement, where decay and despair cling to every surface. Inside a sealed room, surgical tools gleam ominously beneath the dim light, hinting at unspeakable procedures. Subject MA does not sleep, refuses food, displays unnatural knowledge of staff deaths before they occur, claims to hear the silence between the silence. A voice echoes. Polaroids capture Madeline's haunting transformation, each image a chilling testament to her descent into the inhuman. Amidst the chaotic aftermath, Elijah and Camille uncover a final tape. Archer's desperate confession from the brink. "She's no longer my daughter, she is the vessel. It's not haunting, it's transmission. If you're seeing this, it's already too late." The screen distorts violently as Madeline's voice echoes. "He opened me, I'll open you." Camille screams as lidless eyes burst open across the room. Thick black liquid streams from the eyes as Camille backs into a corner, terrified. Elijah ignites the room with old papers and chemicals. She sees through them, and once she sees you, you belong to her. Flames consume the hospital corridor as Elijah and Camille desperately navigate through the thickening smoke, their faces masks of terror. Whispers intensify, an unsettling chorus echoing around them, chanting in an unknown tongue. The fire wasn't to destroy her. A voice echoes. It was to seal the door she came through. Elijah cries out. Madeline, as she emerges from the inferno, untouched by the blaze, her smile a chilling omen. Amidst the desolate ruins of St. Avelin Hospital, Elijah and Camille stand among the charred remains. Elijah discovers a scorched VHS tape, its label bearing the ominous title, Room 313, Final Recording. Camille observes the desolation, uttering, "It's like it was never a hospital, like it shed its skin." Elijah walks into the lab, the tape a weighty promise in his grasp. The technician inserts the tape, his eyes fixed on the screen, a silent hope for answers. Distorted frames of Madeline flash across the monitor. The technician freezes in disbelief. The technician whispers, "This frequency shouldn't exist anymore. It's analog, but it's active, constant transmission." She's not just recorded, she's alive in the signal. A surge of static plunges the lab into darkness. A frenetic whirlwind of news clips and shaky TikToks ignites a global panic. Every screen becomes a portal, as Madeline's haunting image flickers in parking lots, hospitals, and the cold depths of mirrors. Terror erupts live as a teenage girl's livestream captures Madeline's spectral appearance, sparking a wildfire of online hysteria. Elijah stares intensely into the camera, his words hanging heavy in the air. "If you're watching this, she's seen you," he warns. "You'll hear her soon. She'll show up in the silence in flickers, reflections, dreams. Don't talk to her, don't listen, and for God's sake, Don't watch the tape. With a click, the camera shuts off, casting the room into an ominous darkness. The convenience store stands quiet. The TVs flicker to life, each screen filled with unsettling static. Slowly, Madeline's face materializes on each screen. Her image flickers, her mouth opens, and the screens plunge into darkness.